Hello dear learners, today I am going to teach you the topic time value and return. Basically, what is the benefit of this topic? That is to know the value of current investments in future. For example, the money today is not having the same value the money tomorrow. Means if you get rupees 5,000 today and I will give you an option that I will return this 5,000 to you after 5 years, obviously an investor want the money today. That is called the time value of money or time preference for money. Time preference for money is an individual preference for possession of given amount of money now rather than the same amount of money at future time. This happens because of three reasons. First reason is risk. Whenever you have your money with you right now, it has no risk, but if you are giving it to someone, the value decrease due to future uncertainty and as well as inflation. So there is always a risk if you give your money, if you consume today or you consume in future. Second thing, preference for consumption. Every person want to consume the money right now rather than in future. That's why the money value today is more than the money value in future. Third thing is investment opportunities. If you have your money with you, you can invest it somewhere and you will get returns also. That's why the money, any person want the money in hand rather than the money in future, despite if he gets some more money in future. The time means he wants some kind of more return, that is called required rate of return for his money, and person will invest his money only when he will get the required rate of return, means he will get more money in future. The same example, if he will get 5,000, if we get 10,000 in future after 5 years, then he will go for that. That particular thing is called required rate of return. Required rate of return consider two things. First is risk-free rate. Risk-free rate means there is no change in the return, you will get the same return at every point of time. And risk premium means required rate of return consider risk-free rate plus risk premium. For example, if I will give you an option that you can invest in a debt, your rupees 5,000 and you will get 5,500 after 1 year. And second thing, I will give you the option that you can invest in equity, share market, and I will give you the same return of 10%, 5,500 rupees. Obviously, you will say that if I am investing in equity, I want more than that, more return than the debt. So that return is called risk premium. So required rate of return considers two things. One is risk-free rate plus second thing is risk premium. For example, if I will give an investor rupees 100 today and say that I will give you 100 after 1 year, he will never expect it. But if I will say that I am giving you 100 rupees today and after 1 year you will get 110, then this 110 is the future value of the money after 1 year, and the money 100 rupees is the present value which I am investing today. And how we consider this time adjustment means the money value today and the money value in future, how we consider it? We consider it by two concepts. First is compounding and other concept is discounting. Compounding, we use it, the process of calculating future value of cash flows, means what money I am investing today, 5,000 today, what would be its value after 1 year. If I want to know the value of current investment in future, that is called compounding or future value. But if in other case I will get the money in future, suppose I will give you that 5,500 rupees you will get after 1 year, that 5,500 has not same purchasing capacity that the money today has. So what I will do? I will discount the 5,500 rupees from the current, means here I will divide. It is called the discounting, means the process of calculating present values of cash flows which I am getting in future. How we do it? First, I am telling you about the future value, yani ki concept means compounding. Compounding means the process of finding the future values of cash flow by applying the concept of compound interest. Compound interest means is the interest that is received on the original amount as well as on any interest earned but not withdrawn during earning earlier periods. For example, if I invest 1000 rupees and I am getting 10% interest for per annum, so first year the money would be 1000 into 10%, that would be 1100. Next year I will get the interest on 1100, so interest would be 1100 into 10, that would be 121. So that compounding means interest on interest. Simple interest means here if I am saying 1000 rupees for 2 years, for first year also you will get 100 rupees and for the second year also you will get 100 rupees, means total 200 rupees. There I am getting 100 for first year and 121 for the next year because I am getting interest on 1100. Future value, how we calculate the formula? The future value is equal to principal into 1 plus I ki power n. Here future value means whatever money I will get in future. P represents the present value, present investment today, and I is the interest rate, n is the number of periods for which I am investing it. We can do it with the help of one table also, and the table give us the value of 1 plus I ki power n, and that is called compound value factor at that particular time, at that particular interest rate. Compound value factor ni, that particular rate. It would be more clear when I am giving. We can do this with the help of Excel also. In Excel the formula is very easy. We just need to put it future value, rate means 10%, number of period, PMT amount which I am investing, present value if I am investing something in present value, type 1 or 0. 1 if I am investing in the beginning of a period, 0 if I am investing in the end of the period. Future value. We will take an example that would be more clear. If you deposit rupees 55,650 in a bank which was paying a 15% rate of interest on 10 years time deposit, how much would the deposit grow at the end of 10 years? For that, what I will do, if I will calculate in the simple way, 55,650 into first year interest, that would be 1 plus 15 upon 100, 0.15, yani ki 1.15 ki power 15, that is 10 year, 10. I can do it in this way also, or I can use the compound value factor table also, where the value of 15% at 10 year means 1.15 ki power 10 value is given. We can see it from this table also. And the value in the compound value factor table is 4.406. This is nothing, this is the value of 1.15 ki power 10, and the value would be 2,25,159. Means first year I am getting the interest on 55,650, next year I am getting the interest on interest, means 55,650 plus interest, and I am getting the interest on it, and this process will continue till 10 years. This is called the future value concept. तो कट जाएगा ना. Yes, now we are calculating future value of annuity. Annuity, in the past example we have seen that we have invested 55,650 first year, and after 15 years we have calculated its value. But what if a person is investing every year? Then means on first amount, annuity means is a fixed payment each year for a specified number of years, means he is investing every year. In that case, on the amount which he has invested, he will get the interest for number of years, for 10 years, for next year he will get 9 years, for last third year he will get the interest for third year, 3 years, for second last year he will get the interest for 2 years, 1 plus I. Or we may compile it, we can take the common annuity or we may take the summation of it, means we can simplify this formula by this way. Future value of an annuity is equal to 1 plus I ki power n minus 1 upon I. This is the simple formula of calculating the future value of an annuity. We can use it with the help of table also. Same, there we are taking the compound value factor. Here we take it the annuity, compound value factor, annuity table by that rate of interest and that particular year. For example, a firm deposit rupees 5,000 at the end of each year for 4 years at 6% rate of interest. How much would this annuity accumulate at the end of 4 years? If we see it simply, 5,000 into 4, he has invested 20,000 rupees. How much he will get? He will get, for first 5,000 he will get the interest of 4 years, for second 5,000 he will get the interest. He has invested at the end of 4th year, at the end of every year. So for first 5,000 he will get the interest of 3 years, for second 5,000 he will get the interest for 2 years, and similar way. So what we can do, we can use the annuity formula also, and we can take the value from the compound value factor annuity table. 5,000 into 4.3746, that would be 21,873. Now, we have seen that how we calculate the future value of investment. What if I will say that you will get 20,000 rupees after 4 years? What would be the value of that 20,000 today? So this concept is known as present value. Present value of a future cash flow, inflow or outflow, is the amount of current cash that is of equivalent value to the decision maker. As we are aware, as up till now we are aware that the money after 4 years has not the same purchasing capacity, has not the same value that the money has today. So what would be the value of future receipts today? That is called the present value, that we know with the help of present value. And how we calculate? With the help of discounting. Discounting is the process of determining present value of a series of future cash flows. The interest rate used for discounting cash flow is known as discount rate. In that formula we call it interest rate. When we are calculating future value, then we call it interest rate. Here we calculate it, here we say it discount rate. Formula to calculate the present value of a lump sum, that this is the same formula, but here what we have done, we have taken future value here and we want to know the present value, so we will divide it here, 1 plus I ki power n, or we may write it 1 plus I ki power minus n. We can also do it with the help of table, that is present value is equal to future value into present value factor table. There we use the table compound value factor, here we use the table present value factor table. We can use it, we can do it with the same way as we have done it for future value in the Excel. Just the difference is we have to write present value, remaining things, same things are same. Now we will discuss this with the example. Suppose that an investor want to find out the present value of rupees 50,000 to be received after 15 years. Her interest rate is 9%. First we will find out the present value factor. Present value factor means 1 divided by rate of interest is 9%, 1.09. How many times? 1.09 ki power 15. 1 divided by 1.09 ki power 15, or we may write it 1.09 ki power minus 15. We will get the formula value just from the table, that is 0.275. What 0.275 says, that if we see the value of 1 rupee at the rate of 9%, means the value of 1 rupee which we will get after 15 years, that would be equivalent to 0.275 paisa today. So we just multiply it with our amount, 50,000 into 0.275, that would be 13,750. Means the 50,000 rupees which we are getting after 15 years, if the simple rate of interest is 9%, it means the value is just 13,750. In the same way, we will calculate it for the annuity also. Annuity means we are getting money every year. So, the value would be annuity of first year divided by 1 plus I ki power 1. Second year 1 plus I ki power 2, 1 plus I ki power 3, and so on for so many years we will getting it. We may take annuity common and we can multiply it, we can add everything, so we may take it 1 upon 1 plus I ki power n summation. Or there is a simplified formula for this also, like the same, just the reverse of that formula. Present value of an annuity is equal to annuity into 1 upon I minus 1 upon I ki power I into 1 plus I ki power n. Here also we have the same table. The table is called present value annuity factor. There is present value factor table. Here we take it present value annuity factor. This table adds the value. Suppose we discount 1 rupee at a rate of 10%, the value would be 0.909, means 1 divided by 1.1. If second year also we will get divided, that value would be 0.826. What that annuity table do it, that it added 0.909 plus 0.2826. So, it will give at 2 year, it will give us the value of that compound and that compiled annuity. So, that would be very easy if we use the table, that is present value into annuity into present value annuity factor at that particular time, at that particular interest rate. We can use it, we can do it with the help of MS Excel also using this function. Here we are using PMT and the same formula, rate, number of period, present value, future value and type 0 if we are getting at the end of year, type 1 if we are doing it beginning of the year. For example, suppose you have borrowed a 3-year, yes, this process of present value help us in both ways, like what would be the value of annuity what we are getting in future. Similar way, this process also help us to know that how we pay our loans. For example, suppose you have borrowed a 3-year loan of rupees 10,000 at 9% from your employer to buy a motorcycle. If your employer requires 3 equal end of year payments, then the annual installment will be, means here we are using the same thing, 10,000, what we want to know, annuity, installment into present value factor table at 3 years at the rate of 0.09. Where we will see the what is the value is 2.531 and we will divide it and we will get the installment or annuity value, yani ki 10,000 rupees which we are paying in 3 equal investment has the value of 3951. This process of paying loan is also called loan amortization. Loan amortization means when we are taking loan from some person, we are returning back some principal money plus some interest. Here in the case 3951 means if we will see, we will take it lump sum 4,03951. So, we are returning 12,000 in place of 10,000. So, how this process of loan amortization or this division factor works, in this we call it capital recovery factor. Capital recovery factor means the same thing, 1 divided by if we divided principal present value annuity factor, then it is called the capital recovery factor. I am continuing the same example, that would be more clear. In that example, he is paying 10,000 rupees in 3 equal investment of 3951. If we see on first 10,000, 9% interest rate, how much interest rate, how much interest he has paid, 10,000, 9%, 900. Amount he has paid 3951, means remaining amount he has paid of principal 3,051. What is the remaining principal? That is 6949. If we divide 10,000, if we subtract 3,051 from 10,000, we will get 6949. Next year interest would be on 6949. 6949, 9% interest would be 625, but he had paid 3951. The remaining amount he has paid for the principal 3,326. that would be remaining principal would be 6949 minus 3326, that is 3623. Remaining interest would be charged on 3623, that would be 326 at the rate of 9%. But he has paid 3951, the remaining amount he has paid of principal 3625, that is equivalent 3623. And similar way we are seeing that he is paying more interest in the initial installments. That's why it is being said that whenever you take a loan, try to pay more amount of money as installment at earlier stage, because in early installments you pay more of interest and less of principal. Like in this example 900 and principal we had paid 3051. If our principal will decrease, it means we have to pay less interest. So that's why it is being said that whenever you take a loan, try to pay more and more installment, more amount of installment initial, because it will decrease your principal. That's why it is also being said that first we pay interest and then we pay the principal amount. So this process also help us to know how we pay the loan. Yes, in this example we have seen that we have taken the present value of an annuity. Annuity means equal sum of amount. But what if we have to calculate present value of an uneven periodic sum? In most instances the firm receive a stream of uneven cash flow. Thus the present value factor for annuity cannot be used. There we will not use a table present value annuity factor. There the procedure is to calculate the present value of each cash flow and aggregate all present values. For example, an investor has an opportunity of receiving rupees 1000, 1500, 800 and 1100 and 400 respectively at the end of 1 through 5 years. Means for 5 years he will get 1000, 1500, 800, 1100, 400 respectively. At the end of 1 through 5 years, find out the present value of this stream of uneven cash flow. The investor required rate of interest is 8%. So what we will do? First 1000 we are getting at first year, so we will divide it 1.08. Next 15 year we are getting after 2 years, so we will divide it 1.08 ki power 2. Similar way 800 we are getting 3 after 3 years, so power 3. We can use the first table present value factor table. 8% पे 1 year की value check we will check, and that would be 0.926. Similar 0.857 for third year, 0.794. We will get the value and then we will add it. That is 3927. These concepts help you in investment also. For example, we have seen that we got 3927. If we see it normally without considering time value of money, the person is getting 2500 plus 800, that would be 33, 44, 44 or 4, 4800. But in reality he got 3927, approximate 4000. If someone has to invest in this project and he has to pay 4500 rupees for that, should he go for it? If we see it without considering the time value of money, it looks like that the person is getting 4800 in return of it. But in reality, when we consider the time value of money, the person is getting 3927. So we should buy this investment plan only when the value is less than 3927 or equal to 3000. Means he is investing 3927 rupees or less than it. Then it is profitable. Then it is giving the rate of interest of 8%. Otherwise, not. Present, sometimes we consider a perpetuity also. Present value of perpetuity is amount, an annuity that occurs indefinitely. Perpetuities are not very common in financial decision making. We are not getting, but sometimes we, like in case of pension, we want to know the value of pension. So here we just take a simple formula: present value of annuity of a perpetuity is equal to perpetuity divided by interest rate. For example, a person is, let us assume that investor expects a perpetual sum of rupees 500 annually. From this investment, what is the present value of this perpetuity of, if his interest rate is 10%? we will just divide it with the rate of interest, that is 10% means 0.10, 500 divided by 0.10, that would be 5000. Yes, we can calculate the present value of an growing perpetuity also. Growing perpetuity means, for example, just as we do job, we will say that you will get annual increment also. Then means first year salary would be suppose 1000. Next year you will get the 10% increase. The next year salary would be 1100. Next year salary would be 1100 increased by 10%. Then how to calculate the present value of it? We can use it with the simple formula. Present value A upon I minus G is the growth rate. I in 1 minus 1 plus G upon 1 plus I ki power n. If we will use this, if we are being given by the time period. If this is also a perpetuity, then we will do it with the simple formula. There we divided annuity divided by I, here we minus the growth rate, because the growth rate decrease the amount of discounting. We will do it with an example that would be more clear. First we will see that how the, I am taking the same example. Assume that you earn an annual salary of rupees 1000 with the provision that you will get annual increment at the rate of 10%. It means you shall get the following amounts from 1 year to 5 year. First, 1000, first year no increment, so 1.10 ki power 0. Next year 1.10 ki power 1 means 1100. Next year 1100, 1.10 ki power 2, 1210, 1331, 1464. Means my salary is also increasing. Now I have to see the present value, means 1464 which I am getting after 5 years, what is the present value today. Suppose the inflation rate or the interest rate is 12%, then I will discount the first 1000 by 12%, that would be 1.12 divided by 1 by 12. Next year 1.12 ki power means 1000 divided by 12%, then 1100 divided by 12% ki 1.112 ki power 2. We will see the value from the present value factor table. The value would be 1000 into 1.893. Means what it is saying, the value of 1 rupee, if I am getting it after 1 year and the rate of interest is 12%, the value is 0.893 only. The 1 rupee is not equal to 1 rupee, that is equal to 0.893. My salary has increased to 1464 and value is 1 rupee is discounted at 12%, the value is 0.567. So the value of 1464 is 830 only. If your growth rate is less than the inflation rate, it means the value of money is not equivalent. 1464 just has the value of 830 rupees. In reality we are saying that he is getting 6105, but in reality he is getting 4309 rupees, not even 5000 rupees. So this things help us to take decision in such a way that whether we should go for the investment is equal to the growth or not. Yeah, this is also help us to know the value of annuity due. Annuity due is a series of fixed receipts or payments starting at the beginning of each period for a specific period of time. If we take it from the beginning, then the value would be future value of annuity, compounded value factor annuity. Because we are doing it in the beginning of the period, that's why we will multiply that particular year interest also. So that would be 1 plus I. Similar way, if we are doing, we want to know the present value of annuity that is due in the beginning, we will divide it with the 1 plus I ki power. Yes. Future value of an annuity example, when you deposit rupees 1 at the end of each year, the compound value of the end of 4 years is rupees 4.375. However, rupees 1 deposit in the beginning of each year, 1 through year of 5, will earn interest respectively of 4 years, 3 years, 2 years and 1 year. The value would be 4.637. So in the beginning and in the end, that also makes the difference, because there we will get the 1 more year of interest. Same, the present value of rupees 1 paid at the beginning of each year for 4 years is 3.487. Beginning of the year. Yes. Sometimes we see multi-period compounding. Multi-period compounding means our interest is compounding multi-period. For example, for a month, for semi-annually or for a quarter. Then in that case, all the things are same. What is the difference? We divide the interest rate with the m and multiply the time period with that particular m. For example, rate is 10% per annum and the interest is compounded semi-annually. Then the rate would be 10 divided by, in year there are 2 semi-annuals, we will divide it by 2. So the rate of interest would be 5% and the period would be 2, because 1 in a year we have 2 semi-annual, 1 into 2, and the remaining things are same. For example, suppose you invest rupees 100 now in a bank, interest rate being 10% a year, and the bank will compound interest semi-annually. Twice a year, what will be your effective interest rate? That effective interest rate would be more than the interest compounding annually. Why? Because now the amount is compounded twice in a year. So the interest would be 0.10 divided by 2, 0.05, and the period would be 2, and the value would be 1.1025 or 10.25. Means if it is compounded annually, then I will get the interest of 10%. If it is compounded semi-annually, then I am getting the multiplying effect, that is 10.25%. So effective interest rate would be more in case of more than, if the interest is compounded more than a year. So we can say it, money value would be principal into effective rate of interest, that is denoted by EX also. Similar, the present value also divided by EIN. Yes, then next concept comes the net present value. Net present value means the present value of cash inflows minus cash outflow. How it help us? As I told you in the previous example, it help us to take the decision whether we should invest or not. For example, we can use this in the Excel also by same. In Excel we use the formula rate and per amount type guess, and we calculate present value, and then we can do it with the help of Excel also. We do it with example. Suppose your friend want to borrow rupees 1600 today and would return to rupees 700, 600, 500. Means total he is giving us 7 plus 6, 13 and plus 5, 1800. But what is the effective rate in year through year 3 as principal plus interest? What will be your rate of return? Here we are calculating internal rate of return, but if we see the net present value, 700, if we take the value at 8%, then it means 1 rupee value has 0.926, so 700 rupees value has the 648.20. Similar way for 600, for 500, and we will get the total value is 1559. Means the present value would be 1600 minus 1559. Means we are in loss, we are not getting 8% rate of interest. If we calculate it with the rate of 6%, the present value would be 1614. Means we are getting 14% interest of rate. We are getting 14 rupees more, but we are not getting 6% return, we are not getting 8% return. What is the actual rate of return we have got from my friend? Then in that case, what we do it, we will use another formula, that is lower rate plus difference between rate. In that case, I am calculating the value on 7% also, 7 minus 64. I will see the difference 164 at the higher rate, at the lower rate, NPV at lower rate upon NPV at lower rate minus NPV at higher rate, and I will calculate the value would be 6.5%. Means my friend has given me the return of 6.5%. So that's all. This concept of time value of money gives me better understanding that how we should invest for future, whether the investment would increase in future or not, and this also help to businesses also. So here in this lecture we will discuss this only, remaining we will discuss in the next lectures. Thank you very much.